5 years ago, I was going through a divorce. I was a single mom. I had never made more than $42,000 a year, $100,000. Like that seemed so absurd to me. I went on to do it in 15 months. We went on to make 100K 10 times. Absolutely insane. Does not make sense. When you feel that empowerment, that you know how to turn money on in your business like a faucet, it automatically lowers the stress and anxiety you feel around the uncertainty around money. You just have so much more ease and playfulness and creativity in your business. These mindset shifts are going to make you a shit ton of money. And I want you to have more impact on the world that only you can. Hello, icons. Welcome to this week's episode of The Audacity Podcast with me, your host, Sarah Plowman. I am, as always, thrilled to be here with you today and to talk to you about an upcoming event that I'm hosting and why I am so excited about this event, how it's unlike anything that I've ever done before, and what is going to transform for you because of this event. And to start off with, I want to talk to you about financial results. I talk a lot about living an extraordinary life and doing things just because you want to, and how your job is to be as you possibly can. And part of my job to be as Sarah as I possibly can be is to make a lot of money. And I was thinking about why, like part of my mission on this planet to make so much money. And there are really two main reasons. One, because I've just always known from one of my earliest memories that I was meant to have a lot of money. I just have had this desire my whole entire life. It's not even a desire, actually. It's a knowing that I was meant to be rich. I've always felt rich. It actually doesn't matter how much money is in my bank account. There have been times in my life where I have a very low bank balance, like very little cash on hand and a ton of debt, and I still feel wealthy. I've just always felt wealthy and abundant, but also known that I was meant to have a lot of dollars in my bank account. And the other reason is because I am a very generous person. I love spending money. I love spending money on myself. I love spending money on the people that I love. I love creating experiences. I'm really generous. So I just need to have a lot of money. So I have done the work over the last couple of years of no longer judging myself for having that desire. And instead of making myself wrong or feeling unethical or dirty or greedy about that, just allowed it to be true about me. And as a result, I have created a lot of money. And then I get the pleasure of helping other people create a lot of money. And the financial results that I have created, and again, I've created extraordinary results in all areas of my life since I started this work about 4 years ago. But today I want to talk to you specifically about creating extraordinary financial results and the two things that have really helped me do that in my coaching business. And I have a beloved client, Megan Norris, who says one of her phrases is create a life so good it doesn't make sense. And I was thinking about that today, how my financial results that I've created in my business do not make sense. When I hear myself say it out loud, if it was me of a couple years ago, hearing someone else say this on the internet, I would be like, there's no fucking way. Like how it does not compute. It can't possibly be because of all of the past evidence in my story. It's impossible for a woman like me to create those financial results. So I understand either the skepticism or the cognitive dissonance that comes up. Like it does not make sense. And I'm going to today try to help you make sense of what does not make sense. 5 years ago, I was going through a divorce. I was a single mom. Before that, before my divorce, I was a stay-at-home mom. Before that, I was a server and a bartender. I had never made more than $42,000 a year. And I'm the oldest of 5 kids, and everyone else in my family was really financially successful, and they went to college and they knew what they wanted to study, and they went on to have careers, and multiple members of my family and then the people that they married were all 6 or multiple 6-figure earners. And I felt like the black sheep of the family in many ways, but financially, like I was the one who could not make $100,000. Like that seemed so absurd to me and so outside of the realm of possibility that I could ever be a six-figure earner. And when I started to question this around the time that I decided to start my coaching business, that was why $100,000 was my first goal. It felt really audacious and it felt rebellious, actually, to be like, oh yeah, Sarah, you think you think you're the one in this family who cannot figure out how to make six figures? Watch me figure it out. And not only am I going to make six figures, I'm going to do it from my own brain. I'm going to do it without an employer, without a paycheck, without anyone giving me permission, without a certification. I'm just going to pick up my phone and I'm going to make $100,000. That felt so ballsy. It felt outside of the realm of possibility. It felt like I didn't know how I was going to do it, but I decided that I was going to do it, and I decided to not worry about the how. And I went on to do it in 15 months. In the first 15 months of my business, I made $100,000 cash and blew my own mind in the process. And since that day, I have gone on to make $1 million in my coaching business. So we blew that 100K out of the water. We went on to make 100K 10 times. Absolutely insane. Does not make sense, except for it does, because I started by deciding that I was just going to do it. And I let go of the timeline. I let go of the how, and I made it happen. And yes, I'm brilliant. And yes, I'm brave. And yes, I am one of a kind. There's no one else like me on the planet. But that is also true of you. I don't want you to look at me and compare yourself to me and say, Sarah can do it because of all of these circumstances that she has in her life. And I don't have those circumstances, so I can't do it. I went through this when I was first starting off. I compared myself to everyone around me, and I had all these reasons why they could create success, why they could grow online businesses, why they could make money, and why I couldn't. In fact, my very first mentor that I hired, I had to work overtime in not comparing myself to her and looking at all the reasons why she was successful and why I couldn't be, because there were so many things that were different about us. She was in her 20s. I'm like a divorcee about to hit 40. She was in a happy, stable marriage. She did not have children. She was gorgeous. She had over 100,000 followers on Instagram. She had been in People magazine for her weight loss journey, and now she had transitioned into business coaching. But her circumstances were so drastically different than mine. And it was so easy for my brain to look at her and say, well, of course she's making a lot of money. Of course she's been very successful. Look at all of these circumstances, all these things that she has going for her that I don't have. And I could have let myself stay there, but I didn't. Instead of looking at the gap or looking at the differences, I looked at her as an example of what was possible. And I said, if it's possible for her, it must mean that it's possible for me. So as you are listening to me and my story, I want you to say the same thing. If it's possible for Sarah, Sarah's success is simply an example to me of what is possible for me. And your journey is going to look different, but there is no set of circumstances that you have in your life right now that are going to prevent you from creating the reality that you want, because you do have control over that. So that's the overarching mindset that we're going to go into today with. But I also want to share with you two specific mindsets, two specific thoughts and shifts that I underwent over the last 4 years that have made it possible for me to create $1 million coaching business. And I'm just getting started. My goals have always been to hit a certain financial milestone and then collapse time. So I wanted to make $100,000, and my first goal was to make it in a year. And then I did that. I made it in 15 months. And then I said, okay, let me do that again. Now let me do it faster. Let me do it better. Let me do it with more ease. Let me do it with more pleasure. Let me do it in a way that feels more me and drowning out all the noise. So I've made $1 million now in my brand. And now my job is to make $1 million faster. Let's do it again. Let's do it. The first time I made $1 million, it took me 4 years. Let me do it. Can I do it in a year? I don't know. Let's go find out. I think so. So come along with me on that journey. And I want you to use this in your own business right now. I don't care if you have made $1, $100, $1,000, doesn't matter. However much money you've made, I want you to celebrate that. And I want you to say, okay, I've done that now. Can I make it again? Can I do something that I have already done once? And can I do it faster? Most brains, when left to their own devices, are like, it's not enough. It's not enough. I've only made this much money. I've only made this much money. And you're still chasing something that you haven't yet done, right? You're constantly keeping that carrot dangling in front of you, but you're never feeling like you actually achieve it. So you're in this constant state of chasing, perpetual not enoughness, perpetual I won't be good enough or I can't celebrate until, rather than seeing what you have already created as a celebration, as a win, and saying, oh my God, I've done it. I've done it once now. It's a thing. Now let me go do it again. And that's a very different feeling when you're like, yeah, I know how to make money. I made $100. It took me 6 months to make that $100 or a month to make that $100. Can I make it today? Can I make $100 in one day? Can I make $10,000 in a day? And this is what I've done with $100,000. You can insert any dollar amount into like fill in the blank. I've made $100,000 and it took me a year. Can I make $100,000 in 6 months? Can I make it in a month? Can I make it in a day? It doesn't matter the dollar amount. And watch where your threshold for believability is. That's fun to play with because that might sound not so crazy to say about $10,000. Okay, I made $10,000 in a year. Can I make $10,000 in 6 months? Yeah, I probably could. Could I make it in a month? Okay, that's a little bit stickier, but yeah, that's possible. I could do it. Could I make it in a day? See where your belief threshold is and start to play with it. Start to question it. Why couldn't I make $10,000 in a day? Could I make $1 in a day? Yeah. Could I make $100 in a day? Yeah. Could I make 10,000 a day? Why is that any different? And start neutralizing those dollar amounts. Anyway, I'm going off on a tangent. We'll talk more about that some other time. But today, what I want to talk to you about are these two mindsets specifically around money that helped me make money that did not make sense to my brain at one point in time. And then I'm going to make an invitation to you for an experience that we're going to have together this month, in the month of June, that is going to rewire your brain, is going to be so much fun, and is going to permanently change how you think about money and how you think about sales. Okay? So we're going to go over those two mindset shifts. These mindset shifts are going to make you a shit ton of money. So take notes, take what I'm saying to heart. It's going to sound simple. Let it be simple. And then I want you to listen for the invitation that I have for you because I'm going to go on a journey in June. I have some really big, fun financial goals and goals for my magnetic membership. And I am my first and best client. So I'm creating this challenge, this 2-week experience called Money Mode Activated for myself. I am my own guinea pig. So I've created this for myself and I want to bring you along on the journey. I know how transformational this event is going to be, this experience is going to be. And I want you to come with me because it's so much more fun to go through things like this when you're surrounded with community and accountability and like-minded women. So many of the people, if you're anything like me, who are in your everyday life, they don't think the way that you do about money, about business, about coaching, about mentorship. Sometimes it's people that you love and are really close to you. I have had people very, very close to me who love me and who I've loved very much who are like, I would never, ever hire a coach or I would never pay that much for mentorship. And as well-meaning as they are and as much as they love you, that kind of talk can affect you. It can get under your skin and have you start to question yourself. And then you start to project those things onto potential clients. And you're like, yeah, who's going to hire me? Who's going to pay multiple 5 figures, multiple 6 figures to come work with me? That shit is toxic. That shit is all lies designed to keep you small and safe. And we're not focusing on the people who are not your ideal clients. When you come into my world, we get laser focused on who we are, what we want to create, what lights us up, including selling multiple 5 and 6 figure mentorship that is expansive to people like us. And we let it be expansive. We stop judging it and then we let it be expansive. We expand ourselves and then we get to magnetize people who are already on the same wavelength. I am an energetic match for selling 6-figure coaching. It feels expansive to me, not expensive to charge that much, to pay that much for mentorship. And so that is who I attract. attract? I attract people who don't need to be convinced about the price, but they're like, oh my God, I'm turned on. I am turned on by taking my pile of $100,000 and investing it into mentorship. So this is just a taste of the shift you're going to make inside Money Mode Activated. But let's talk about the two main shifts that I experienced that allowed me to make extraordinary, doesn't make sense money results, and how you can start making those shifts now. And we're going to really dive deep into that into Money Mode Activated. The first understanding that allowed me to make so much money is that as an online entrepreneur, I have the ability to turn money on like a faucet. There are so many people who are gifted at what they do. They are gifted mentors, gifted coaches, but they stop themselves from sharing that gift with the world and building their businesses because they do not feel in control of making money. They feel like they are at the mercy of the circumstances, right? Like, I'm going to show up, I'm going to make offers, but I don't know if people are going to buy. I don't know when people are going to buy. Like, I don't have control over making money. And this is why it's so easy to go get a job or stay employed at your 9 to 5, because it feels predictable and it feels reliable in a way that being an entrepreneur and being an online coach doesn't. You feel a sense of stability. You feel a sense of control ultimately, right? Like, I'm going to show up and do my job and I know I'm going to get paid. I think that way in my business. I feel completely empowered and in control of making money. And we'll go deeper into this into Money Mode Activated because I don't have a crystal ball. If you came to me and asked me today, Sarah, when is the next new client? I mean, I have payment plans now and I can look at my finances and I can tell you when certain monies are coming in. But there was a long time where I did not have payment plans. I didn't accept payment plans. I didn't have a membership. I only sold one-on-one coaching at a boutique business and I only took pay in full. So there were stretches of time where I did not know when the next money was coming in or who was going to pay me. I didn't know who that client was going to be or when they were going to show up. But I still, in the face of all of that uncertainty, felt certain that I could pick my phone up and make money. I felt certain that more money was coming and more money was coming soon, that I had the power to decide to make more money and then just go make more money. And when you feel that power, when you feel that empowerment, when you feel that certainty that you know how to turn money on in your business like a faucet, it automatically lowers the stress and anxiety you feel around the uncertainty around money. So you're not in that like money scarcity. It's very hard to create from that money scarcity place. And selling just becomes so effortless. You just have so much more ease and playfulness and creativity in your business. And ultimately, I believe that's what our businesses are for. I see my business the same way I see my beautiful rack of clothes I have hanging here. Well, I have multiple racks of clothes, but I'm sitting in my office right now and I have one that has a lot of my most sparkly, fun outfits, my dancing outfits here right next to me for inspiration because they make me so happy. I see my business the same way as I see my outfits. Like, my closet is there so that when I open the doors, it's there to delight me and it's there as a creative outlet for me. What look do I want to put together? I enjoy the process of trying the outfits on. I enjoy the process of choosing my outfits. I enjoy the process of wearing them and going and walking around. I enjoy the experience of letting other people enjoy my outfits. Like, I'm just out walking the streets of Philadelphia like it is my runway, and the people who are out there have the pleasure of getting to see me and getting to see the beautiful piece of art that I am and that my outfit is. I see my business in the same way. And when you eliminate that money stress, that money uncertainty, and you know that you have the power to turn money on like a faucet in your business, you have deeper access to that pleasure, to that creative enjoyment. So me understanding that, and I remember almost like to the day, I remember this time in my business when I really underwent this shift of like, oh no, I have the power to make money. Everything changed. So that's the first major shift that I want to help you undergo inside Money Mode Activated. The second one is around selling. I see so many online coaches have a tenuous, like tense relationship with selling. They feel like selling involves convincing. It involves manipulation. It involves pushiness. It involves these real bro marketing tactics. And it does not feel good to them. It doesn't feel aligned. And so because they're experiencing this cognitive dissonance around selling, you don't do it as much because it feels so uncomfortable. You're in this constant state of like this tussle with selling. Like, you need to do it in order to help people and in order to make money and in order to do what you love doing, do your heart-centered work that you were put on this planet to do. But selling is a necessary evil and it feels so awful and it feels like the obstacle to you doing what you really love doing. And when I understood that selling to my people is as valuable to them as coaching them, that process of selling to my people in marketing and of holding space for them to come by, making invitations to them was as valuable as the mentorship that they got once they were my paid clients. Everything changed for me in my business. All of that neediness and graspiness and attachment that I felt and that just underlying icky feeling that I had around selling completely evaporated. I'm talking like a switch flipped. And I fell in love with selling. In fact, we need to come up with a new word for it because it didn't even feel like selling anymore. I no longer sell my coaching, my mentorship to people. My job is to sell people on their dreams. And actually, it's not even that. My job isn't even to sell you on your dream. You already have a dream. You're already sold on it. My job is to hold space for you to decide and help you to show up as your most empowered, courageous, authentic self that decides to go all in on you and your dreams, and to help you access, through peeling back layers of shame and judgment, access the courage to take action on what you know is possible for you. We all have this knowing inside of ourselves, but it's been suppressed for so many years under layers of judgment and shame and fear. And my job is to help you lovingly peel back those layers so that you can access your knowing and then access the courage to take action on it so that you make your greatest delusions come true. You make your knowing come true. You see how different that is than selling? And when you believe that that's your job, that when you are inviting people to come work with you, that's really what you're doing, that feels like the highest level of service that you could possibly give. So my greatest gift to you all is to sell to you. The greatest transformation that I can offer you with the highest ROI for you, the highest return on your investment of your time, of your money, is for me to sell to you. Because in selling to you, I am helping you access that part of yourself that is already in you that you're just not accessing right now because it's under all that guilt and shame and fear. That is what I'm doing when I'm selling to you. When you see selling like that, selling becomes drama-free. Charging whatever you want becomes drama-free because you know that you're just putting out invitations that you are an energetic match for. You're in your authenticity. You are completely connected to yourself. You know what you want. You're making decisions in your business from desire. You know that money is neutral. We're also going to be talking a lot about money and money beliefs in Money Mode Activated. So you're free. You are free to make any offer at any price point that you want, that you're so connected to it and you love it. And all these decisions are made from desire. And then you just magnetize people who are an energetic match for that price, for that offer, for the features of your offer, for all of it. They are an energetic match for you, for where you are right now, for what you're going through, for what you're offering, for how much money you're charging. And you just come together like two magnets. So it's effortless. It feels so good. You're excited. Your new client is excited. They are like, please take my money. They're so grateful and thrilled at this opportunity to be able to give you money, this energetic exchange of money for your energy, and to go all in on themselves. So when you make these two shifts, when you have these two, there really are philosophical shifts about money, knowing how to turn money on like a faucet as an entrepreneur, as an online coach, and that selling is the highest service that you can offer to your people. Everything will change about how you feel about yourself running your business and your relationship to your business, to your audience, and to money. And everything will change in your bank account. So you get to feel better and you get to see more money and you get to increase your impact because there are people out there right now who are waiting for you to show up. I teased Money Mode Activated in my private Facebook group, The Audacity. If you guys haven't joined yet, come join. It's a free private community. We are up to 125 now, I think, members. And it is such a beautiful, warm, welcoming, expansive space. We had someone in there celebrating her highest ever cash month recently. We had someone in there today celebrating her first ever paid client. She became a paid coach for the first time. The celebrations are so beautiful. The women in there are so beautiful and so expansive. So come join the Facebook group. But I went in there yesterday and I teased Money Mode Activated for the first time. And 3 people jumped in immediately. And I was getting DMs and messages on Facebook from each of them saying, this is exactly what I needed. This is so timely. This is right on time. Every time you open your mouth, you are helping someone and it's coming at exactly the right moment for them, exactly when they needed you. I want you to think about this. How many coaches out there are selling something having to do with selling? A lot. I venture like millions, hundreds of thousands. I don't know. There are so many coaches out there as we speak who are offering something very similar to what I'm offering. They're teaching something very similar to what I'm teaching. But my people want to learn it from me. My people want to be in community with me. And your people are the same. It doesn't matter what you coach on. It could be dating, relationships, weight loss, divorce, business. It does not matter what you coach on. Motherhood, people pleasing. There are so many other coaches coaching on exactly the same thing, oftentimes using the same tools that you teach, but you plus the tools that you teach are something that have never existed before. Nowhere else. You are in a category of one. You, in my mind, you have no competition. You do not need to differentiate yourself because there is no other you. You are the differentiator. So there are people out there who want the specific help that you offer, but they want it from you because they can't get it anywhere else. No matter how many other coaches exist out there in your niche, they cannot get it anywhere else because there is no other you. So I want for you to have more fun and creative flow and pleasure and enjoyment in your business. I want for you to have a fuck ton more dollars in your bank account. And I want you to have more impact on the world in the way that only you can, and a ripple effect into the world that only you can. So I've designed Money Mode Activated to help you do that. So let's talk about what this is. It's starting in just under 2 weeks, and it is a 2-week experience. I have never thrown a party like this in my business before, and the idea has been brewing, but when I sat down to actually like map out the details, I just kept asking myself, what would be fun? What would be really fun that would help us make money and have an experience together, go on an adventure together, light us all up? What would delight me? What would I like to do? Because I, again, am taking this program. I'm attending my own party just like you guys are. So think about if you were throwing a big party for yourself, like you would ask yourself, what do I want the decor to be? What do I want the venue to be? What would bring me pleasure to wear? What do I want the decorations to be? So I've built this whole experience to absolutely delight me and light me up and support me in the exact ways that I know support me to make so much money. And I guarantee you that that is the experience that you are going to have too. So we are going to start in 2 weeks. We're going to have a kickoff call together on Zoom where we're going to get into the vibe. I'm going to offer you some mindset shifts right off the bat that I'm going to tell you how exactly to show up during Money Mode Activated to absolutely blow your mind with results so good that they do not make sense. And then we are going to spend every day together for 2 weeks inside Telegram. There's going to be a Telegram broadcast. You're going to get a training every single day. There's going to be engagement inside the Facebook group. You're going to be together, accountability, engagement. I'm going to have games and contests, ways for you to pump yourself up and keep yourself going, making offers, selling, making money, all while rewiring your brain and helping you to see showing up in your business and selling in such a different way. And this is going to light you up no matter where you are in your business. Maybe you're just starting off. Maybe you've made a lot of money, but you know that you're playing small. You know that you're under earning. You know that you're undercharging. You want to be selling premium coaching. You want to be signing 6-figure pay in full clients. Wherever you are in your business, this is exactly what you need to get you in the zone to take aligned action and have the reality, the 3D reality in the world and your clients and your bank account match what you know you're meant for inside. I want your insides to match your outsides, your inside reality, what you know you're meant for, to be reflected in the 3D world. So this whole experience that we're going to have is going to be a combination of mindset, but also manifestation. I'm going to teach you manifestation, talk about it in a way that you haven't quite heard it before. We're going to be talking about strategy. You're going to have opportunities to ask questions, like specific questions, the kinds of questions that you always want to ask seven-figure coaches, but can't necessarily get the answers. Like, how do I have this conversation? And what do I say at this point of the sale? We're going to get into all of it, big picture, down to the nitty gritty. And it's going to be amazing. And it's going to be fun. And it's going to make you so much money. And the best part is it is $1 a day. I wanted to make this such a no-brainer and so accessible to anyone who wants to join. So the whole experience, the 15-day experience with me and all of the other incredible women inside, is only $15. Actually, it's free if you're already one of my clients. If you are a private client, if you're in my mastermind, or if you are in the magnetic membership, then you get a ticket for free. If you are not currently a client, it is only $15. There is no other experience that you will ever buy that's going to create a greater return on this $15 investment. So I want you to step into this place of playfulness and curiosity with me. And I want you to take $15 and I want you to invest it into yourself and come into Money Mode Activated and see how much money we can turn that into. Like, we're going to multiply that by what? Are we going to make $1,500? You're going to make $15,000? You're going to make $150,000 from this $15 investment? Let's go find out. I guarantee you that the ROI is going to blow your mind and you are going to leave this experience forever changed in how you see yourself as a moneymaker and how you feel your power. You have access to your power around making money and how you think about selling. And those two transformations are going to change everything in your life and in your business. And I say that as someone who has experienced this firsthand and then have gone on to teach this to help my clients absolutely change their lives because of these mindset shifts. So you know what to do. Join Money Mode Activated. So you can find the link in all of the places in the show notes. You can find the link in my Instagram stories. Grab your ticket for just $15 and let's fucking go. All right, Icon, I will see you there.